Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited that you decided to take 30 minutes out of your schedule to spend this time with us tonight. My name's Nikki McCutchen. I will be your host, but we have an amazing call tonight because I'm pretty much just handing everything over to our amazing resident patchologist. And she's got some super fun stuff to share with us tonight. I have been waiting and chomping at the bit for this call for a while. So just know whoever invited you to this call tonight must really care about you to want you to know about this technology. Like I said, the call will be for about 30 minutes. We're going to be showing you some other amazing technology and how to be able to know that this technology absolutely always works every time. And so we're going to be sharing that with you. But with that, we're going to start with our medical disclaimer. What we'll be sharing tonight is for informational and educational purposes only. All LifeWave products are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any dis-ease. If you're on medications or have medical conditions or are pregnant or nursing, please check with your preferred healthcare practitioner first. So with that, I am going to invite Miss Vicki Malad on the call tonight. And like I said, she is our fantastic resident that we reach out to for any kind of need when we're trying to figure out how to make these patches do exactly what we want them to. But she's also has this really cool technology called the BioWell testing machine that even in LifeWay's clinical studies, they are using this technology to be able to run tests on the inventions and on the technology, again, to show and to know that it is actually working. So there's all kinds of different methods to also test. There's all kinds of really cool scanners that you can utilize, but this is one that we have access to. There's lots of practitioners that we work with that actually use this technology as well. But anybody can learn how to do it. And that's what Vicki has done. And like I said, she's our master. So Vicki, please come on and tell us what you have done and what you see with the amazing BioWell and our technology.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Nikki. And this little modality is so interesting because when we first got it, I was so overwhelmed because I have to know how everything works, you know? So that was kind of like where I started. And it was just like every day I was like, oh, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get balanced 100% with this thing. So it was just learning, diving in and learning and scanning myself and others every day. So I'm going to go and share. Can I share my screen? Okay, I'm going to share. Okay, now I need to figure this out. Forgive me for not being prepared. Okay. Yes. Okay, so this machine here, I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like. So it's just a little tabletop and it's right here with your finger. So you place your finger in this little hole here, and then it actually rests on a piece of glass. And the coolest thing about this is that you're just scanning the fingertips of each and every finger for each and every individual. And it measures it by a puff of gas, which is amazing. So oh, look, now I have this. Why is it not working? Okay. I'm sorry, my remote is not working. There we go. Okay. So this is just an example of your fingertip and the gas that it emits in order for the scan to take place. I just kind of wanted to share that. So these are just some results, and everybody's results are going to be different. So what I like to do is I like to, when someone wants to use the technology, I like to start with a scan to kind of see where they are with a baseline. And that actually is so helpful because that gives you an idea of what is happening in the body. So what this machine does after you scan your fingertips, it measures the state of a person's energy field, and it gives you an analysis of your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual condition. So if someone has like certain health condition going on, or certain areas of the body that is, giving them a trouble, this is the best way in order for you to help them, is to be able to see what they have going on. So I did this scan, and this is the energy field before patching on the left. So there was 46 joules, and joules are just the measurement of how the energy is measured. That's how they measure it. And this is before patching on the left, so that was 46 joules. And after that, I placed the X39, the Eon, Carnosine, glutathione, and the SP6. And then afterwards, is that, I can't see the bottom of I think is that say 42 joules? I can't see the bottom of it. Anyway, it looks like it says 52 joules, and this is after. So this just gives you a more energy to help to be able to balance the body in some way, shape, or form. And I'm going to go through some of the other parts of the scan as well. This beautiful colors here. So there are breaks in this. I don't know if you can see where my cursor is, but there are like breaks here. So it's like a nice blue and it's fluffy. And then there's a break. It's like orange or red. And then it goes around. So this measures each and everything that we have going on in our systems.
So Vicki, on the joules, which is the measure of energy, the interesting thing is that I know before there were a lot of things about energy that I really didn't understand. And so I love this from the standpoint of when you're actually thinking about energy, all of our cells have ATP, which is what creates the energy in our mitochondria, in our bodies. So we are truly energetic beings at the very base, at the core of every cell that moves and interacts and does things in our body. And the fact that you went from 46 to 52 means that there is a jump in available energy that's moving through the body, meaning that your body is working more properly because there are more connections now. Is that correct?
Yes. And before scanning, there were many blockages in the body. And then after scanning, not only just improved energy throughout the whole body, but the blockages also improved as well.
Awesome. Okay.
And this is our nervous centers that we have in our bodies. Everybody has them. Some people call them chakras, which either one, you can call it a nervous center, you can call it a chakra. It's the same. So there are 7 major nervous centers in the body, and they cross section on different nerve pathways. And it's interesting because you can tell if your body is in alignment, if you're out of balance, at least I can anyway, and you just need a little more assistance. So this is a great tool to measure all this as well. And it's like wheels and that the energy flows through. So they just continually circulate the energy in the body. And each is linked to emotions, organs, and aspects of your well-being. That's why being in balance or homeostasis, when you get to that state, it's such a nice calming feeling. And that's what the bottom part says, feel healthy and calm when balanced. Yes, because it really does make a big difference. Now, when I first started scanning, my thing was all over the place. My scans were all over the place. And I had no idea. I was like, oh, I just put so many patches on and I said, it's going to work. It's going to change. I'm going to get this in balance. And I kind of drove myself nuts a little bit. But I like to experiment with things. I want to know how they work. I want to know what it's going to do for me, because if I'm going to use it for someone else, I want to know how it works.
So, and then also on this chart, what you're seeing is there's actually an increase in like the size from the left to the right, from before and after. So you're also seeing better energy flow in that center or whatever it's linked to, or that portion of the body, because there's an increase in size. I don't know if you guys noticed that, the size of the actual dots. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm so glad you brought that up because I knew I was going to add something to this that's not on here. So yes, that is the size of the nervous centers or the chakras definitely is determined by the energy throughout the body. So the energy was increased, that means that the chakras got bigger because there's more energy centering in there. And what else happens, like this scan on the left is before, this was, I believe it was 88% aligned. And then after patching, it came to 94% alignment. So when you place the patches on the body in certain areas, you rescan, it's shifting those nervous centers to align. And so the body can feel more in balance and calm. And then this is our organs and systems chart. It shows you where things are low. So on the left side here, this is before patching. And if you see there's orange, the orange color means that something is very low in your body. There's hardly any energy flow going through there. The green means that it's good. So you can see on the left here, it's very, very low. I mean, almost all of them are orange to some point. And then after patching, you can see how well they are balanced. I mean, they're all green now. So that's
Holy
just
cow.
amazing. Yeah.
That's incredible. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Wow. That's amazing.
And you don't necessarily feel these changes that happen because you're just shifting the energy in the body to give it what it needs. But yeah, so all the organs increased and energy was balanced throughout the entire body.
And ultimately, I mean, isn't that, I mean, yes, a lot of us would like to feel things, but to know that your body is actually operating more optimally is huge. Even just the psychological effect of going, oh my gosh, like my body is really operating optimally when I use this kind of technology. I'm having huge shifts. That's just, it's truly amazing.
Yes, and I tell you, it's so nice to use this technology with the patches. Of course, like I feel like they go hand in hand because, like I said, I don't necessarily always feel when I place the patch on me unless it's pain. But when I place the patch on, it does something to the energy in your body. So it also helps to be able to determine where you're going to place these patches. So,
Hmm.
that's why customizing your patch pot every day is good.
So how
Let's
does it help you decide where to place the patches?
we're going to talk about that in a
Oh,
couple
okay.
slides down here.
Awesome. So we'll get there.
Yes, I tried to make sure that I covered all bases here to try to figure everything out. I don't use it as much as I did before, but I like to use it on somebody that's just starting to use the technology. So I want to scan them before and after, so that way if they say kind of like what I didn't feel any different when I first patched, but I know that this technology always works. Trust me, and we have proof. So this machine helps. Now, this is the meridians in the body, and this gives you, on the analysis, it gives you everything that you need, like the liver, your gallbladder, everything is obviously you can see is orange again. So they're very low in energy.
Yeah,
And
I think
I, yeah,
another important point is like about the meridians, which again, I just learned this a little while ago, but made such a difference for me, is that the meridians in the body, when I before was thinking about acupuncture, like so much of that seemed very esoteric to me, and I was very confused. Whereas
mhm,
now understanding that the meridian system is actually tiny little collagen fibers going spiraled throughout the entire body, just teeny tiny collagen fibers. So it's actually, a biological, thing that is in your body, scientific. There's nothing esoteric about what's happening with these meridian systems.
that's right. And they're just invisible pathways in your body that carry the energy throughout. So, and meridians it's so nice to know that we have those in our body and they help us to heal and move the energy that we need. So
Absolutely.
to be able to move your health like this with just a technology, place the patches on, I mean, it's so simple, but sometimes it's hard to understand that it's that simple.
Absolutely. Yeah. It could be as easy as putting a little patch on your body. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, these are all low energy on the left, and you can see on the right after patching. So it connects different parts of the body as well. So, they're pretty much all green except for three. So yeah, the sometimes another thing I wanted to share is when you do a scan. So what I've learned with using this with the patches is if you eat something and you scan yourself, your stomach, there's going to be so many different things off because it's going through your system. So
Mhm.
there, I don't suggest eating and scanning unless you just want to experiment. I do scan like without patches, and then I'll patch and then I'll rescan. And then if I need a little more assistance, then I'll patch again and rescan to make sure that I have the right patches and the right placement on. Okay, and then this is our energy reserve. So this kind of gives you an idea of what you have going on. So this is where, and I can't zoom it in. I feel like I just want to go and zoom it in, but I can't. So this around this wheel here. So in the center, you have different colors, and you want this red line that's kind of jagged and looks like some kid just took a pen and kind of, drew around in the circle, tried to color it or whatever. But those are actually shootouts. So if it's raised up above the green, that means that it's high. Sometimes it goes low, like you can see the dip down from the green, it goes down into the orange. That's low energy. But what we want to do is try to bring it in balance. So we want to try to keep it in the green area as much as possible. These high shootouts, that's something that has like a lot of energy in it. And, certain patch placements, which I have on another slide, the patches applied in certain areas will definitely help, balance that out. Yeah, so it tells you each and every area, like it talks about your pituitary gland, your thyroid. It could be like your cerebral, which is your head. It tells you if you have something going on with your eyes or your jaw, your teeth. I mean, it detailed like ears. So I just kind of like do the scan and go through the whole analysis because I like to ask questions and when there's something that's low energy or something that's high, because sometimes people will have like allergies going on and the respiratory is high, but they don't necessarily have asthma. So I like to ask those kinds of questions. And when we have our energy reserve, usually to scan in the morning, this should be done in the morning time when you wake up because your energy reserve should be 100% after waking up with a good night's sleep. So I don't know that I've ever scanned and had 100% in the morning. So I wish that I could be 100% in the morning when I wake up. It would be lovely. But I don't know that I've got close. But, if I see like 90%, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good one. This just tells you the amount of charge that you have in your battery. Because as we go throughout our day, your energy is not going to be the same. It's not going to be consistent throughout the day. As we get into the evening hours, your energy gets lower. So this is directly connected to your quality of sleep. So if you have good sleep, then when you wake up in the morning, your energy reserve should be at a very, very good number. So this just is a bigger demonstration of the wheel that we just had. So if you can see here, all of these little points around the circle here talks about like your thyroid, your throat, your larynx, your trach, the jaws, the teeth, the cerebral zone, your cardiovascular system. It tells you if you have a sigmoid colon, a descending colon, your liver, if you have issues there, the right part of your heart, your left kidney. So it has a right side and a left side as well, which is very helpful, especially using this technology because you kind of want to know where you're going to place the patches, right? Right side, left side, center, anything like that. So, and this is also, it goes into the hypothalamus, your pituitary, your thyroid gland, your immune system, your nervous system, and your urogenital system. The spine is a couple of different ones, but that is very helpful because I have also found if someone has driven here to get a scan and they were sitting for a while and I scan them, their spine might have a shootout, like it's high. but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's pain. So I always ask when there's shootouts, do you have back pain or do you have something going on with your head? So I just like to ask the questions before I patch them. Yes, and this is just another representation. So there's a right and a left side. So, oh, this is a left one too. So is this I don't know where you got this from.
It's before and after.
Oh, before. So this is the before patching. And this is, oh, okay. Well, look at that difference. Yeah, that's really high. Those are really high. And then after patching. So yeah, so try to get it in the green. Sometimes it's like a puzzle. But it can be done because, and that's another thing, is that the more that you patch on a regular basis, so each and every day, the more that you use the technology, the more that it helps your body to stay in balance. Because we can't just say, oh, I'm going to put a couple patches here, come scan, and think you're going to automatically be 100% balanced. No, it doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but it doesn't always work like that. So yeah, I needed a whole lot of assistance when I started using this technology. So I know for sure, but that's a huge difference how
Yeah.
this technology works that quick.
Huge.
And this
Yeah,
was
that's
just
amazing.
a period of 5 minutes. So
Oh,
I
wow.
did the scan, had them drink some water, had them patch, and then we rescanned. Okay, and then this is just analysis before and after patching. So this tells you, well, let me try to move this. I'm blocked here. Yes, it just tells you like the energy. So the orange of course is before and the purple is after. So you can clearly see the difference in the energy, how it distributes throughout the whole entire body.
Oh, and did you also drink Celergize then? Was that in that last one? Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, over there on the right where it says after Celergize and vitamins.
Pastor Ed drank Celergize. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So yes, I'm glad you saw that because I knew there was something over here on the right side, but I just thought it was the part of the slide. So yeah, so this was done with Celergize. Yeah, and that is another good experiment to do as well. So whoever has the BioWell, because that Celergize is amazing when it comes to energy and helping the entire body. It is really, really amazing. And this is the patches that we would use for certain locations. So if you have a shootout up here at the top, so we have one at the mammary glands. So I usually ask quite a respiratory system. I usually ask questions like, could be someone that's ovulating, could be someone that's got their monthly, women tend to be, more hormonal when we get around that time of the month. So you can use any of these patches on the top part. So X39 carnosine, you would place them close to your mammary gland. And then on the side here, we can use any of these patches at all for any of those. Now on the left side here, you can use obviously you can use X39 anywhere on the body. So that's why there's X39 all over. And then our SP6, because you have your spleen, you got your organs in there, and you want to make sure that you're keeping them in balance. Now, we don't have the Nirvana anymore, so I'll just cover that one up. But yeah, so, and this would be a great tool to be able to help you to learn where the patches would go, and just learning the different acupressure points on the body is very helpful. But we also have a section in the BioWell machine. After you scan them, if you're uncertain where to place it, it gives you a whole list of suggestions. So if
Wow.
it could be the liver, and it comes up, you click on it and it tells you to test, to place it in those areas, and then you can rescan to see how it's changed or helped you to get the right spot for the body. Yes, so it's definitely an interesting modality. And this is your circadian rhythm, but this is also the 5 elements. So you have your fire, your water, your wood, your metal, and the earth. And the reason why this is important, because a lot of times people don't understand why, like, I struggled with sleep for many, many years, and I didn't understand why my gut was in disarray. And I had so many different issues. I didn't understand that. Well, it was because my sleep was off. So if you follow this, it's like a clock, like you have the time around it, and it gives you an idea of what is happening. And this is everybody's body. What is happening in your body at a certain time of the day? So for me, I always like to wake up in the morning. You get your good breakfast, but I love to drink a lot of water in the morning. I wait and then, I will drink my cellular dyes a little while later, and then I eat my breakfast. And just different things throughout the day. So I like to exercise. Your body absorbs everything that you're putting into it. And then evening, I always like to eat between 5 and 6 p.m. And that's weird that it has eat there, which is great. But your kidneys store nutrients. So it builds for your bone marrow and stuff. So supper time is always 5, 6 p.m. around my house. But this is also helpful to understand that when we do our detoxes with the patch technology, when we do like our severe symptom or our cellular regeneration, there's a reason why it's done in a different particular spot on a certain day. And it coalesces with the 5 elements that we have here. So, the first one's going to be fire. The next day is going to be water. So these are placements of the energy enhancer alone. So the fire, water, wood, metal, and earth. So that's why it's 5-day detox. You're getting all of those elements in there. Okay, and then this is a better description of I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to place this thing. Okay, there we go. Yes, this is all the nervous centers or the chakras in the body. And this is helpful to know that we all have them, whether you want to, come to grips with it or just say, okay, we'll just call them nervous centers because they're there. God created us all the same way. So each system is attached to some kind of an emotion. Let's see, let me read this over here. Yeah, so it helps you to be able to experience, like the pineal gland, it helps you with the spirit of love. Pituitary is your womb. Your thyroid helps with your life. Your thymus is purification. So these are just many different tools that you can use to help when you're trying to balance out the nervous centers. So your pituitary is your wisdom and your sound mind, which of course that's the top. That's the Godhead part. Revelation and sound mind is your pineal. So that's why I always like to wear my aloe vera on the third eye in the evening. It helps me when I'm sleeping. Thyroid, communion, and unity through communication. Yes, your thyroid is like the center of your hormones. So that helps with everything. And your thymus is love. So, that's right where your heart is. Your pancreas is your power because that's your core in your body. Your ovaries, your sexuality, deeper creativity, and fruitfulness, because God said that we should be fruitful and multiply, and that's why we have our reproductive organs. And then your adrenals is for your abundant life. So your adrenals are the centers where your hormones are created. So for me at nighttime, I feel like the aloe vera patch on the third eye where the pituitary gland, the pineal gland is, I'm sorry, is helpful for that because it helps with your adrenals while you're sleeping. So your body is going into that rest state and it's healing itself. And then your adrenals are working to produce the hormones or your, whatever you need in the body for the next day. So I feel like it's helpful for me to wear it there. Yeah, but it's helpful because it also can determine a person's physical, emotional, and spiritual condition. So, just praying with people sometimes makes a huge difference. It brings calm and peace to them. But knowing that you use the technology, you rescan them and they actually see the difference. And most of the time, I mean, I don't think I've ever showed someone their scan and then the change after using the technology and had them not be sold and want to use the technology right away. So
That
they
was going to be
usually
one of my
take,
questions. Yeah, I
yes.
wondered if you'd ever done a scan to where it didn't show any results.
No, I don't. Well, my son. So it was Jacob when he was on those 8 different medications when he came home from the hospital.
Oh,
So yeah, that's why medications really, really play a key factor in that as well. And I tried everything with this kid. I mean, I was like, you need some X49. We got to get some carnosine on there. You need energy going throughout your body. I would put X39 on him. And it was like it would move like 1 millimeter. And that was it, like all those patches.
Wow. Yeah. So it just goes to show you how much medications block and shut down our body systems because they're trying to stop something. They're trying to stop a symptomology. Their true nature is not of benefit. When you think about it in the fact that the goal is to shut something down, to stop something, to stop the flow of whatever the symptomology is that you're trying to control. So that's very interesting that it completely even shut down the energetic body in the ability for the body to move and communicate with each other. That's very interesting.
Yes. Yeah, and very rarely do you get someone where you would patch and there's no change at all. Like I said, I mean, even though I used those patches on my son, it did move, but it was a smidgen. So I was
Mhm.
glad that it was him and not someone else.
How many days did it take for you to like for him to get out of that situation?
So it really depended on how much sleep he got. And that's why it's very important to get a good night's sleep because your energy in your body, like I mean literally his chakras, if I showed you them, they were look like little pins on
Wow.
the nervous centers. They were not big like that, not a lot of energy at all. And I think the one day the energy reserve was 0 and it was in the morning. So it really, really affects your whole body system. If you don't get the right sleep, you don't get the right nutrition, you got to be hydrated. And movement is medicine. Like, get active, do something. It's nice
Mhm.
out. You got to get some active, get some energy flowing.
Mhm. And I'm guessing too that that on like if you were to look at the medications and look at the side effects on the medication, there were probably several that had some kind of sleep disruption, associated with it, deep and, REM sleep and effective sleep. And so even if he was sleeping per se, the effectiveness of that sleep was not getting to a state to where his body could actually heal and regenerate. It was not restful and regenerative to take him to that kind of place.
Yes. And since of course he's not on any medication now, thankfully. And since he's not on any medication and rescanning him after not, stopping the medicine, big, huge difference. Like the chakras are nice and big. He's got some alignment going on. He's got some balance. We all got some kind of issue going on. But I mean, I was amazed. I was so happy. I was like, yay, we got
Yes.
energy.
Yes. Did you have to wait for him to be able to get off those medications to see that result? Or over time, there was like little bit of smidge, keep using daily, even though he was on the medications?
So he weaned himself down, and this was a 3-year process.
Oh, wow.
So they would drop one medication off, and then like each time we would go, and he was on one for a while. But
Hmm.
that one they just weaned, like dropped the dosage, and each time we would go back for his appointment, it would get dropped down because his goal was to get off of all medication.
Yeah.
So
So
yes.
ultimately, even though it took a long time, the technology again was still helping get to that place because I'm guessing with whatever was going on with him, there were some scenarios where doctors were saying, this is something that you're going to have to take for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's certain conditions in the body that are happening. Like you said, you know, when I take something like a pill form, I really don't like to take it. I mean, I know that they make medication for a purpose and a reason, but I know that there's going to be some kind of a side effect. And that's kind of why I'm funny about some kind of an injection in my body or even drinking something. Sometimes you have to get used to the taste of something in order for it to help your body. But yes, so it was a process, but I'm thankful because it was done a safe way. And it
Mhm.
was done with the supervision of his doctor. It wasn't something that I pushed for either. So
Sure.
it came from him. He wanted to be off of it because he knew how bad it made his sleep.
Right.
He just
Absolutely.
wanted to get some sleep. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and to even the amazing thing is to even have a tool that, even if it's going to take 3 years, even if it's going to take a while, that you have a tool that's actually giving you the availability to potentially at some point be able to get off that medication. I mean, how many things in our lives do we have that, access to something that can truly potentially give us the ability to where we can go to our doctor and say, I really want to work to get off of this medication. Because most of the time, your doctor, the answer for him is the medication. It's not how to eventually get you off. So to have something completely natural to where your body has access to trying to help it, support it, bring it back in balance, and give it the vitality that it needs, so it can operate properly, so that you really can have a goal of being able to get off that medication at some day, with obviously your doctor's help in doing that. But the help is the guidance of him helping to get you off. But what's allowing that is this technology.
Yes. Yes. And it was very helpful because I wanted to know what was going on. What is
Absolutely.
happening inside of this, this being
Mm,
here, being my son? And I just want to help everybody, so this is just
mm,
another tool to be able to do that and give them an assurance that the technology definitely works.
mhm.
So if they don't believe in it after you scan them and you patch them, they believe in it.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, so powerful. Yeah. And I think it's important too to understand that you don't have to have this scan. This is just a tool that if you live close to Vicky and Ed, or, you could probably even search for BioWell, practitioners that use BioWells in different areas. I know if you're in Tulsa, Dr. Caroline, she has a BioWell, so you can, make an appointment with her. Obviously, she's going to have a ton of other health recommendations for you because she's a doctor. Anyway, so just being able to have access to that, if you feel like you're unsure that the technology is doing something for you and you just want the reassurance that it is doing something for you, then we have access to these types of scanners. There's some other scanners, a Menla scanner. I work with a gal who uses that very high end scanner as well. LifeWave has used some of their clinical studies using a Menla scanner as well. What are some of the other names of some of the other? There's a Zytoscan. So really, I don't know if I've ever seen a scanner that doesn't register showing a difference with our technology instantly. Um, so definitely, if that's something you're unsure of and wanting some reassurance, that's a great way to do it. And I know we talked a lot about, specifically trying to figure out where to patch things. If you wear the technology, it's going to work. Most people don't need it to be on a specific place. We have some recommendations and things that we can pull from, but the bottom line is that you just get the technology on your body. Just wear the technology. That is how you're going to get results. So,
Yes. And this, the BioWell scan, so David has done 6 studies with the new water machine so far. And all 6 studies the scans have been done with the BioWell. So I just love that because we have it and I'm like, oh, this looks, familiar. So yay, I'm not lost.
yes, yes, you understand what he's talking about when he's saying things because you've used it and helped people that way. I love that.
Yeah, so I always offer free scans for all my family and friends. So
Awesome. Yes, that's awesome. Such a blessing. Yes. And really and truly, like I said, what a gift to have someone like Vicky, like Pastor Ed, who are willing to take their time to study. Like all of that to me, it just looks like, okay, I don't think I want to dive in that deep and learn all those little technical things and, use this, so I think it's amazing that, you're just willing to offer that, time and helping people, and being able to, utilize your skills and take the time to even understand that, to give someone extra knowledge about their health in that way. And so we are beyond blessed to be able to know you, to get to work with you, that you're just constantly giving to people. And we certainly pray that the Lord is blessing you in every way for all the ways that you give back to so many. We're super thankful for you.
Thank you. We feel the same about you, Nikki, because you're a blessing. So.
Well, you're so sweet. Okay, let me see. So Pastor Ed put something in here. Okay, so yeah, so if y'all want to read that, or if you want to explain it, Pastor Ed, you're more than welcome to.
Well, really quick, I don't want to take you guys' time. Vicky did a wonderful job with the BioWell.
Thank you.
Her and I have been studying, and each little energy center and balance is acquired by a specific number. And so when you read those numbers, then you can understand where it needs to be. So the way it's representing it is by colors. So when you see the color done right, then you're in the right direction. So what I also wanted to write about the seven spirits of God, isn't it amazing how we have seven glands in our body, seven nervous systems that correspond to everything, whether it's in the spirit and the body. Most of the things, and Nima, the engineer that has helped us with the BioWell, has always told us that before any disease or any sickness appears, it appears first in the BioWell. So we also have a little headset that goes along with it that you can make you actually energize water with it, and then you drink the water, kind of like what David is doing, but in a more of a primitive way. And man, does that also even balance your body even more. And again, we're not saying go ahead and buy all this stuff. We get it because I'm a geek, like a lot of us are, and want to know more about it. But I just love how God created our bodies, so that we can know how to repair it. And Dr. Caroline is one that tells us all the time that our body is the best pharmacy that we will ever have, because God put all those elements and minerals in our body. What's happening is toxins in our body and things in the air that blocks us from that. But now we have a way of escape. And I just want to thank God for it. And thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Vicky, for such a wonderful presentation.
Absolutely. Vicky, do you have anything else you want to add before we go?
No. And
Awesome.
if there's any questions from anybody, I didn't see any, but.
Yeah, I didn't see any more in there. But yeah, we are over time, and we are just so grateful to you all. David, did you want to come on?
I did want to ask one question. How
Awesome.
often should you scan?
So at first, of course, I scanned every day, and it was a couple times a day because I was like, okay, I feel tired. Let me go scan myself. Or I feel energetic. Let me go scan myself. But at least once a day. And I think from there, once you get your right patching, so it's like maintenance patching, you figure out which patches work for each one. I figured out my maintenance patching, I just do it once a week to make sure that everything's good.
Okay.
A baseline and also after patching, so you see where you patch correctly.
That's awesome. Very good. Anybody else real quick? Well, thank you again so much, Vicki. We so appreciate you and are just so thankful to know you, and just to allow you to just bless all of us with your knowledge and your willingness to just give to all of us. So we really appreciate you. And with that, we pray blessing over each and every one of you tonight. So have a good night, everyone. We will hopefully join you back here again next Monday evening. So good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
God bless. Thank you.